Hello guys, and welcome to the second episode of my TORUG'S Tuesday series. Today we're going to be looking at how to use enchants for damage shields on a stamina build. Yep, that's right, you can have strong stamina shields and I will show you how. Let's take a look at the stats. 35k stamina, 23k health, and 12k magicka. Really good, not too shabby. Our stamina recovery is coming in at almost 1900. That is also quite a lot. And we are on a warden, so we will get roughly 200 regen from our bull natch. So we're actually looking at like 2100 stamina recovery. So yeah, a lot of sustain. Our weapon damage, if we buff up here, we're sitting at 3500 weapon damage. With our infused bow enchant, this will go up to, I would say, 4300 roughly. Don't quote me on that. Our spell and physical resists are not too high, but we are of course on a medium build, so there's not much resistances to be had, and we are rocking roughly 2k crit resist. That's not too shabby, and like I said, the main defense of this build are shields, of course. So, yeah, we are a vampire. As always, you don't have to be, but I like the extra regen quite a lot, and especially with a playstyle like this, the damage reduction when you get low health is really good. The shields will be really strong. So I would recommend vampire, but you don't have to. Our Mundus is the serpent, of course. We want the regen because this is quite a stamina heavy playstyle, and you definitely need the regen to survive. So yeah, just going all out. And of course, Dubious Cameron Throne as our drink buff. Even more sustain. This is quite important. But feel free to use different stuff depending on your playstyle. I personally like um, the regens on this build. I really like stacking the stamina regen. It really helps with the survivability. Let's look at the sets. We of course are running the TORUG'S pack set because this is the TORUG'S Tuesday series. The second set we're using is agility. The three-piece set that comes from IC, a really nice set because it gives quite a lot of stamina and a lot of weapon damage, and especially for a build like this is probably best in slot, I would say, because we have a 5-piece set here, we have the 3-piece set here, we have a 2-piece monster set, which is Bloodspawn, of course, and yeah, this is probably the best way to build a build like this. And for our weapons, we're using the Master's Greatsword and the Master's Bow, and I will tell you why in a second. Of course, when it comes to TORUG'S Pact, um, the weapons should be infused. We talked about this in the last episode. Always use infused weapons when you go with the TORUG'S Pact set. You really want the most you can get out of your enchants. So don't don't do any other traits. Infused is the way to go, unless you're using TORUG'S Pact to just build weapon or spell damage. Then there's other ways, and I might do a video on that, but usually both weapons infused. Of course, we're using robust jewelry. We want the extra stamina, and we have weapon damage on our jewelry. Stamina enchants on our body pieces. We have infused on the big pieces, impan on the small pieces, just to give us a nice, well-rounded build. A good mix between stats and damage, and a little bit of defenses. The enchants on our weapons. The Our bow is of course infused with the weapon damage enchant. This gives us almost 600 weapon damage. This is a lot, and we're using the Master's Bow, which will give us 300 extra weapon damage on our target that we have used poison injection on. So you can put this on multiple people, but this is mostly for single target. You can use a different bow if you want, like a Senchei bow, get the extra sustain on the back bar. It's up to you, or maybe a black rose bow. You can also do that. It's really nice. But I like the master's bow for some single target burst, or if you have a small group of people, just put the poison injection on all of them and get the increased damage that way. Um, our front bar is, of course, a master's greatsword infused with a shield enchant. And yeah, a lot of people don't even know that this exists. But yeah, it is highly, highly underutilized. And I don't even know why, because it can be really strong, especially on a build like this. Um, we get a 3k damage shield in PvP. That doesn't sound like much, but we're going to stack it with a different shield. So we will be having pretty nice shields on this build. So yeah, let me show you why. We are, of course, using Brawler. And Brawler gives us almost, well, if we, does buffing up actually change something? Oh yeah, it actually does. Yeah. Because we are on a Warden, healing will increase our health. As you see, now we're sitting at almost 25k health. Um, so the Brawler shield actually scales with health. So the more health you have, the bigger your shield will be. So there is potentially a different kind of way to build this build, where you just stack a little more health. That would be quite viable, to be honest. And yeah, this Brawler shield in combination with our shield enchant will get us a 6k shield, which is pretty strong, and it's almost as strong as like um, let's say a normal like sword shield, like a sword that doesn't really build for a strong shield. They usually get around 6 or 7k out of their shield. So this is really strong, and you can just reapply it easily. So the thing about Brawler is you get the shield even when you don't hit anyone. So I just cleave into the air and I get a shield. It's of course very small, and it will not proc my enchant. But if you hit a target, this will proc. You will get the 3k damage shield on this. You will get the 3k damage shield on this, and the more targets you hit, the bigger your shield will be. You can potentially, at least in PvE, you can cover your whole health bar in shields like this. Um, I don't think it's possible in PvP to do that, but you get at least like half or more than half of your health bar covered in shields if you hit a group of players. So this is this works really well, and with the TORUG'S pact and the infused weapons, um, the the shield enchant can proc like roughly every 1.75 seconds. So depending on how fast you cleave, you could basically get the shield enchant proc with every cleave, and if not, then you get it every second cleave. But it's such a good defense having these shields on a stamina build. You won't even believe it. Um, we can go over the other skills real quick. Of course, Bird of Prey, we get the minor berserk, which is really important. You got to have it on your front bar now. The skill got changed a while back. It's not a toggleable skill anymore. It's a skill you have to slot, so put it on your front bar or whatever your main damage bar is. We are using the reverse slice because this is an AoE centric build. You can do these nice brawler bombs, and you want the AoE execute, of course. Don't start a single target executing people. This will not get you very far. You need the AoE execute. Really important. Crit rush, of course, you want a gap closer. It helps with getting your combos down, especially if you approach a group of people and you cast your subterranean assault. You crit rush in, you hit them with a Dawnbreaker, you start cleaving away. This just helps you get the timing right, and just against single targets, of course, crit rush is really good. I really like having a gap closer on all my builds, and of course, crit rush will always crit, so it hits quite hard. The next skill is rally. We need a source of major brutality, which we already have due to our bull natch. But if you don't want to use the Bull Natch or you don't want to use Rally, it's okay. We have the double buff here, so feel free to swap something out if you really want. But the main reason we have Rally is, of course, the heal over time and the burst heal we get out of it. Really, really nice. Our ultimate is Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I like this the best because it just offers so much. You get an AoE burst, you get AoE damage over time, and you get an AoE knockdown. And all for 125 ultimate. This is really cheap. And it really helps you burst down a group of people. If you do it right, you can really kill like 5, 6 people in one smack. If your timing is right, if you play your cards right. So I think Dawnbreaker on the front bar is the best. And of course, we get a little extra weapon damage if we have this slotted on our front bar, which is good. On our back bar, we're using the Draining Shot. This is our main stun on this build. It has a really long range, so you can actually stun people from quite a range, which is nice. If you get chased by people, you can just stun them and start running away. It also gives you the really strong heal, 10k on the tooltip here. We are not even buffed yet. This is really good. So this can potentially save your life, but this is mainly your source of CC on this build because we don't have any other CCs. The next skill is, of course, Subterranean Assault. This is our main burst that we set up. So the combo would be you go for the Subterranean Assault, you do a 2H heavy attack into the Dawnbreaker, and then you start cleaving away. This would be the way to approach a group. If you're not gonna use the backbar ultimate, which is permafrost, we're gonna talk about this in a second. Do this rotation. Like I said, sub assault, heavy attack into Dawnbreaker, and then cleave. The heavy attack will give you 10% extra damage on your Dawnbreaker, so it will make sure that you just hit them really, really hard. And yeah, the cleaves on this thing are really hard. The Brawler got buffed this patch, so it does a lot more damage now. And if you combine this with the Master Greatsword, we can get a lot of damage out of this. So potentially like over 10k brawlers on people. I had with different builds back in the day when Brawler wasn't buffed yet. I had like 14k brawlers on people in PvP. So yeah, if you have a lot of people and the Master's Greatsword scales to his max capacity, oof, that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. And the next skill is Poison Injection. Like I said, we're using the Master's Bow, so putting the Poison Injection on a target will increase your weapon damage against that target by 300. So you will be sitting at almost 5k weapon damage if you put the Poison Injection on someone. I mean, Poison Injection is such a wonderful skill. It does quite a bit of upfront damage, has a strong dot attached to it. The dot gets stronger when your target gets low health. It is a passive execute mechanic, and it is so nice. Having it is just, it makes the build complete. It really, really does. The next skill is Resolving Vigor. We need a heal. We have three heals actually on this build. We have the Rally, we have the Draining Shot, and we have the Vigor. But Vigor would be your main heal because it is such a strong heal over time. And you actually don't really need that much healing on this build because the shields will protect you quite well. The next skill is Bull Natch. We talked about this. It gives you the weapon damage buff, and it gives you stamina back, roughly 200 regen, is what this comes down to. And of course, our ultimate is Permafrost because sometimes you just want to go for the big plays, and having a big group of people, Permafrost is so good. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it gives you the major protection, which will be unbelievably strong if you start cleaving at people and you get these massive shields and you have the 30% damage reduction on top, man, you're going to be hard to kill. And of course, it stuns everyone that it hits for 3 times. So this can really fuck a group of people. If they don't pay attention, you come from behind, they don't see you, and you just hit them with the permafrost and the big burst. Yeah, it's over. It is over. It is so, so strong. Taking a look at the champion points, nothing crazy here. I'm just going to show you this real quick. Feel free to do whatever you want in here, but I think you should put at least 19% in Bastion. You want to get those shields stronger. Almost 20% on your shields is actually really strong, and it makes this build even more viable. Of course, we want a little bit of extra healing, so 12% is usually what I go for. And the green tree, the standard layout, as you know from me. Not much to say. Go 12% into Mooncalf. We really need the stamina recovery. But the other stuff, do whatever you want. We're going for the tumbling over the Shadow Ward here because this is not a blocking build, and dodging is actually quite good, especially if you dodge cancel your brawlers. This is a good tactic because you get the nice shields and you avoid some damage. So if you have a lot of people on you, a couple dodge cancels with the brawler will keep you alive a long time. When it comes to the damage side, this is a burst build, so of course we're going 24% in Mastered Arms. This does a lot for your burst damage. We have a little bit damage over time, but we're not focusing on that. This is really for the big smack. If you really want to kill a group of players, you need the burst. So 20% in the precise strikes, because if you crit, you will hit really hard, and that's what we want. 5k flat into physical penetration. A little bit penetration helps, of course, and we have 12% in mighty. I think this is probably the best and the strongest burst damage split that you can do. This is really good, but feel free to adjust this to your liking, of course. The main thing I just want to show you is how to use the TORUG'S Pact set for the shields, of course. So yeah, you can also play this on a Magicka character. Put the shield enchant on a staff, and every time you light attack or you poke someone with a force pulse or something, you will get a nice damage shield. And especially if you're playing a sorcerer, you have your own damage shields that you can stack this with. So even in the defensive play, this would be really strong. You can have a 3k stronger damage shield just by just light attack shield, light attack shield, light attack shield. And yeah, let's say you have like a 7, 8, 9k damage shield and you get the 3k on top. You can do the math. It is really good. So using shield enchants for a defensive playstyle is quite viable, and you can do it on a stamina build. I hope you learned something. I hope you like that. I hope you give this a try. I played this build before. It's really good. It does a lot of damage. It might not look like a high damage build because the stamina is, well, it's pretty good, but not super high. Also, the weapon damage is not super high, but the damage scaling on this build with the Master's Greatsword is just insane. You get the almost 9k on top of your already pretty high tooltip when you cleave into a group of people, and you get the insane shields. So yeah, I really love this playstyle. It is pretty unique. I hope you give it a shot. If you do, let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have success with it, and show me some clips. Of course, please subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of this series. And yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.